All right, hello. Thank you for joining me in this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you haven't seen these videos before, welcome back if you have. My intention with every video that I do, every post and blog that I do, just be for the benevolence for all in alignment with the highest levels of love light, and just to kind of raise our awareness around ascension and this journey that we're on together. So I'm going to go into a little bit of flow. So these sometimes are meant to be felt, not necessarily understood on a linear level. And one of the biggest messages that's been coming through is basically to keep getting rid of the stuff that no longer serves us. And so cleanse, clear, and flush out everything that doesn't serve, and then create. And then kind of see what works and what doesn't work, and then do another cleanse, clear, and flush. And I had several videos that I did over the course of the last 2 weeks, and I did not post them. They were kind of all over the place. So I just am taking the bits of information from that, and then I'm going to go into a little flow here. Apologies if this film runs out because I'm on my phone outside. I just wanted to spend a little outside time, and I don't have a lot of space left. So that message is create. The spirit animal that's been coming through for me in the form of synchronicity is spider. Some people get freaked out by spiders, but the Native Americans, many Native American traditions believe that spider is the creator. Mother spider created everything from her womb, which is the shape of an 8, which is infinite, infinity symbol, of course, and the directions of the 4, north, east, south, west, double 4s. The 8 represents dark and light, the coming together and the balance of harmonics, as well as so much more. But the divine feminine balancing out the divine masculine, and from the womb of this infinite number, as well as the egg or egg of life. If you look at the seed of life and the flower of life and the eggs, it's representative of that, as well as the beautiful creative frequencies, of course, that creation brings. So, and of course, the weaving of the web, right, of life. And so the messages that have been coming through primarily are create, get rid of what doesn't serve you. And that can be foods, people, relationships. Obviously, that goes in line with relationships, so on and so forth. So whatever is toxic in that environment, flush it out, whether it be in your body or conversations, maybe things we're watching on television, thought processes and patterns, anything that is no longer fitting within what it is that you wish to see created in your world. The message that's been coming through is to flush it out, cleanse and clear it, which we had with the full moon, and then the new moon, and then the other full moon. It's been this, and the basically cleansing. We had the eclipse energy, and all of this has been helping us to get through all the cycles that no longer serve us, and to see that shadow aspect that isn't what we necessarily want to create in our lives anymore. Yeah. So cleanse, detox, flush, hit that reset button, and then create. And keep doing this. This is the cycles that I've been kind of seeing in relationship to this. So much more, but let's just go into a little flow. So I'll do a little toning, some light language might want to come through. And as we come into this new spin, so to speak, this new spin cycle, these new patterns that are emerging within ourselves, within our environment, and that which we are creating together, this co-creative collaboration that is essentially spinning the chords in accordance with what it is that we are creating in this new void. I'm hearing void of time, so I'm hearing reference to we're kind of in between these cycles right now. Many people are in the process of flushing, other people are in the process of creating, and kind of following what feels appropriate for our stream of consciousness and creation. So if it feels appropriate to be in one space and not another, follow the gut or the internal rhythm and cycles that are being presented to us. And as we set our balance accordingly, as we step one foot in front of the other, and we find what is lighting up for us, what is lighting up inside of us, what it is that we wish to retreat from, and what it is that we wish to retrieve. So they're showing me, spider also has to do with the alphabet and spelling. And there's a lot of double meanings with this. Spider is huge from my own spirit animal creativity, as well as quite a few other animals. But they're basically showing me this primordial alphabet soup, so to speak, is rewriting itself. This is in reference to not only our DNA, but also how we communicate. So our communication patterns and how we communicate, not only how our body communicates with us, how we communicate with our body, but also our extrasensory capabilities. So it's like everything is in a position of rewriting. Everything is recalibrating. Even the formations of the, so there's making reference to communication in general. So as we, I've got like 10 different paths here that I'm going into. One is showing me that people are starting to open up to their extrasensory abilities. So this communication that's coming through is going to be felt differently in the body. The other form is that the words that we're using are changing. So oftentimes we will find a greater depth and meaning behind our words. So what they're kind of showing me is to thread through the intention. The intention and purpose in which we commit to, in which we omit from, in which we share with one another is spinning a frequency, is spinning a geometry, so to speak, a referential point in which I'm seeing a spider and it like spins out this web like on Spider-Man and it hooks into something. And then as we see that trajectory, or as we feel what it is that we're seeking to find in our space, so to speak, then we're pulled into that. So it's like the law of attraction, vortex of creation. But in doing so, we send out these harmonics. So I'm on a backtrack just for a moment because they're showing me these harmonics are expressed through the voice, through touch, through movement, and these are geometries, because a geometry is a sound, it is a harmonic, it is a vibration. And this goes back into our intention and purpose behind what it is we are creating. So coming back to that heart space and setting our intention to be in the space of love, as we then zing out our spider webs essentially to swing into that momentum, will assist us in creating more of that space and that harmonic and leaving the other behind, which is okay. They're kind of guiding me to remind us that it's okay to let things go. So there are those that will be tangled within the webs that they have woven, that they are weaving, yet they do not realize that they can cut those strands at any time. And as sticky as they may feel or as sticky as they may be, they are not the truth of what they really are. They are mere projections that they have lined themselves up in within in geometries that are essentially, some are covered up, but some are exposing now. So what they're showing, I kept having this reference to Weezer, if you want to destroy my sweater. So they're showing like these little threads are sticking out and they're like, hey, pull on that thread and everything unravels, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, to get out of those knots that we feel like we've set ourselves in, these traps, these Venus fly traps, so to speak, that many people feel locked and stuck within. And as we unravel this, it allows us to then spin forth even more creations. And so this is again reference to It helps us to activate our DNA. It helps us to open up our form of communication. Many people are wishing to step into a bigger aspect of themselves, but they're so tangled up within. So whenever I see this, you guys, I see webs that have geometries that make sound. So for some people, it sounds like it's really dense because they're spun in these cocoons of patterns. And these patterns are poking out to show them, hey, this pattern is what's created this knot over here. So if you unravel it and you find its source, or if you just cut it so that you can give yourself some more space, it'll allow things to open up and smooth out for you a little bit more. And it's okay to be naked. It's okay to expose the truth. It's okay to expose what it is that who we really are, and to feel okay to express that and not feel like we have to stay within this cocoon. They're also reminding me, though, that it's important to set those healthy boundaries. Armadillo has been coming up for me a lot. And so again, yes, we can expose ourselves and be, here is my authenticity, here's the truth of who I am. However, be aware that there are going to be certain patterns that come up again, and we're being asked to step up and recognize those patterns so that we don't fall back into those and create another spin, going off away from the direction that really is a more authentic representation of where we want to be and who we really are. So we're going into a different vibration now. And again, apologies if this runs out. So lots is coming through in English, but it's that, again, that vibration of the light language that comes through, or the ancient tones, or whatever you want to call it. So what I'm seeing is, as a spider so let me go back into flow. Recognizing that those knots and those spirals and those like a spider when it spins and it basically gets sustenance from its prey, so to speak, but it weaves a cocoon around that and it gets energy from it. So recognize that some of these things that seem like knots, we can utilize this as energy to recognize more of, again, what isn't working. We can still then cut those cords and say, okay, I've learned from this, or I have accepted this and I'm now ready to integrate this and to allow it to fall away or to integrate so that I can utilize this and grow from it. And as these patterns represent more growth, it also shows us stepping into this new cycle that is coming into our awareness. And they're showing me different portals that are opening up. You may then feel the vibration that is reaching out through these portals. So I'm seeing a spider. Picture yourself on this beautiful spider web of creation that you're on. And it's kind of like string theory. And as you stay on this, and let's say a portal opens over here and a portal opens here, and as the spider chooses, as we choose to spin out this web through that portal that's opening, it'll give us a little pull, like on heartstrings. It'll be like a boing, and we'll feel the reverberation as we set out into that trajectory. And we can then decide if we want to step forward into that, how we want to step forward into that next opportunity. Because all holds a vibration. If in fact we recognize that our extrasensory, our spidey senses, are expanding out and essentially allowing us to tap into this so-called string theory, so to speak, and they're just using that as a way to explain that everything is connected, everything is a sound, everything is a vibration. We can then hone in on the harmonics that are playing on our extrasensory spidey senses that have now been activated in many of us. So this can be in the form of feeling it in our heart, feeling it in our gut. Also, if it doesn't sound appropriate, kind of to then digest it a little bit. So before stepping into that next space, and recognize that it is our divine right to make that choice as beautiful sovereign beings of light. They're saying that this may be a little spongy right now, like on a trampoline. And as many are getting used to their footing, it will feel like they may not be on the right path. But part of this is about allowing this to be spongy and not being so rigid. This is a message that's come through quite a few times. So allowing ourselves to just kind of flow with the rhythms that are accompanying our growth, that are accompanying the cycles that are presenting themselves, and allowing ourselves to be more open-hearted, open-minded to these new forms of communication and these new patterns that are showing up in our lives. And allowing that stuff that we feel stuck in to essentially be cleansed and purified with the light of the sun, with the cooling of the waters, drinking plenty of water and getting into the water, as well as grounding, of course, and connecting to all of these tools that we have, all of these beautiful components that make up our co-creative experience, such as the sun and the moon and the water and Mother Earth, of course, because all of this is harmonizing, sending out codes of abundance, of light frequency, and sourcing into connecting with us and weaving these co-creative patterns. So it's also about recognizing that we're not alone in this creation. We are creating with Mother Earth. We are creating with the sun. We are creating with the water. The water holds harmonics. Our body is a harmonic conductor, right? Our body is more than 70% water, or whatever that number is approximately, and it holds a vibration. So while we talk about a spin and a cycle and patterns, recognizing that everything we communicate about is a harmonic, which is a frequency, which is a sound, which is a tone. And as we send that out into our field through the heart, think of this as a harp playing a harmonic. We could think of the movements that we do in yoga as a frequency shifter, but also a sharing. That's why it's so important in yoga to set your intention. And as this spins out around us, we then allow our brothers and sisters who feel a little bit more bouncy, is what they're showing me, like boing, boing. They're not really sure where to land. They're not really sure about their intention. Those star seeds that are allowing themselves to adjust and helping others to adjust, we can then kind of offer them a warm cocoon of comfort, so to speak, by sending them our waves of love. And this can be in just a hug or a phone call, or it can also be in a prayer, because that is intention, and thought is a vibration, and a vibration is a sound, and a sound is a harmonic, which is essentially a geometry code. Thinking of geometry not to be so rigid, though. And recognizing as above, so below. As we usher in these changes within our ways of thinking, within our ways of feeling and acting out with one another. And they're showing a lot of people just do what you feel guided to express in the form of compassion. So if it means, again, expressing to somebody on the street who may be bouncing all over the place in their field, they don't even understand anything of what's going on, you can just say, you look really nice today, or can I get that door for you, or whatever it might be. So again, in kindness and compassion, we offer these messages of love. I have so much more to share. We have so much more to share. When I say we, guys, it's just my higher self. It's me. It's connecting with the universe. It's my guides, which we all have connection to. So thank you so much for tuning in. and being in this co-creative experience with me in love and light, guys. Have fun. Namaste. More. I also updated my blogs. If you guys want to check that out, I wrote all of this. I'll be writing in this style a lot about spiders and webs, I think, for the next coming month in love and light. Namaste.